Hello, and welcome to another tutorial created by the Redstone Foundry with the intention to educate and explain every aspect of Redstone within Minecraft. My name is Obzak, so let's get started. Now, this video is going to be about the different logic gates and things you can do with Redstone to create more advanced circuitry. First up is the NOT gate. It's the most simple gate you can possibly make. It's a form of Boolean operator. You can't think of it like that. Whereas if the input is true, then the output is not true. So it simply just inverts a current. So if we can do that, then if the input is true, then the output is false or off. Ignore the little setup I've got at the end there. That's just to let me know when there is a current passing through. Alright, now we have an OR. Or I'll show you in a second the NOR as well. This basically means that either input A or input B can be true to make the output true as well. Now this one again is incredibly simple. All you need is, you don't even need repeaters. Oopsies. That's all you need, and a way to power them. So B or A or both, and the output is true. Now to make a NOR, which is short for not or, we just need to invert the output by putting a block there and adding a torch there, which means that if both inputs are true, or if one input is true, then the output is false. If both inputs are true, then the output is false. However, if both inputs are false, then the output is true. So it's the same as the OR, however the output is inverted. Next up we have the XOR, which is a special type of OR gate. Basically, I'll leave a lever for this. Basically, this one, I don't know how to explain this one really. You need to have the inputs different from each other, so either A true and B false, or A false and B true. That'll make the output true. However, they can't both be active or both be inactive. And this is one way to make a... will that work? Yeah, this is one way to make a door close from both sides. If you've ever tried powering a door on from the outside and then going on the inside trying to power it off, it doesn't work. But you can input one of these when I finish the actual thing. And alright, there are smaller designs than this. This isn't the most compact, but I believe it's one of the the most basic and easiest to understand. So at the moment both the outputs are the same, both the inputs are the same rather, so the output is true, false. But if we turn one input on, then the output is true. And if we put them both on, then the output is false. Change one, true. So when the inputs are different, then it'll produce an output. Next up we have the AND. AND with two inputs. I've got another one over there with three inputs. You can have four, you can even have five. It's just different ways of showing you the same thing really. Now this one requires input A and input B to be true for the output to be true. Now, you can put a few of these together to make a combination lock. So the levers have to be in a specific order to make the lock work. That's the AND. But with three inputs, it's the same thing really. Three of those, one in the center, one in the front. Let's hook it up to the output. Let's get some redstone coming to the sides, the center. So if all three inputs are true, then the output is true. If just one input is false, then the output is also false. Now, this with 3 inputs, it does look like it takes a lot of space, but if having a delay on your circuit is not important, whoops, then you can compact it down a bit. If you put repeaters together in a fashion like this, then you can have the 3 inputs really close by each other. You'll have to, of course, separate them out at the end. Or, well, actually, you don't have to at all. So there, the 3 input levels are right next to each other, and they all work individually. Did I do the NAND? No, I didn't. Alright. The NAND is just like a NAND gate, but again with the NOT in front of it, so the output will be inverted. It follows the same rules. So basically, let me just build that. Okay, so with the NAND, if you have both inputs true, then with the AND, the output would be true, but this time it's false. If one of them is false, then the output is true. So it's just the same as the AND, but it follows the output is opposite. And NAND 3. Yeah, it's just the same as the one over there, but with 3 input. Same thing, just without a torch. Yada yada yada. Okay, now we're on to some memory gates. I've got the RS NOR and the T flip-flop, which are really the only things I make. The only kind of memory gates I use. The T flip-flop can also be used as a counter to, well, count, if you string them up together one after another. And the RS NOR can also be converted into a monostable circuit, which is basically a memory latch that resets itself after a certain amount of time. So let's start with the RS NOR. There are many different ways to build this. This is not the most compact, but I like it. There you go, that's it really. So, levers aren't the best example here. Let's get a button. Button, there's the button. Okay. No, let's not do that. Let's just put a button on the side. Okay, so with an input in there, it'll change and it'll remember its current setting. Like, let's say this is the output over here. So that would be true. You give an input in here, however long, and it's now false, and it will stay that way until you reset it back to true. Now, the monostable is very simple to create. All you have to do is take some repeaters and hook it up from the output back into the block where the torch is on, like that. So when this becomes true, it'll send a pulse back to itself, which will reset itself after a short amount of time. We can set that to whatever we want. Let's have it at 1.2 seconds. So if we set that, 1.2 seconds later it turns off. So that's a way of timing very precise things, like for a custom map or anything really. Now the T flip-flop, there are designs for this using just redstone, but most of them are fairly complex. The easiest way to do it is with a piston. Where is the piston? Piston, there we are. Okay. So, in order to create this, we need a hole in the ground and a torch. We need 2 pistons facing each other. We need block, block, block. 2 torches and a redstone. Okay. So basically, every time this on top receives an input. When the input stops, it'll change states. So because there's a torch under there, it's sending power through the block. We can send that off to an output somewhere. So when it turns off, it toggles state. So it's an easy way to think of it as an RS no latch that requires only one input and toggles, instead of you having to put in two separate inputs to turn it on and off. Now, to turn this into a counter is very simple. All we need to do is repeat the design exactly. Next, we're leaving a small space. Let's put that there. Get the torches on. Some dust and a block there. And dust. Okay, so when that toggles on, this will turn on, but it won't activate until that toggles off. So for every 2, that'll turn on. I'll just show you, it'll be much simpler that way. Do I have some kind of... here we go, that's the output. Okay, so I wish I had a better way of displaying the counter. So basically every 4 it'll turn on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, every 4 it'll toggle its cycle. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna pile loads of these together. I'm gonna pile 8 of them together and create a byte. I'll be back in 10 seconds. Not 10 seconds, I will be back in about 3/4 of a second. Alright, so here it is. I've just flipped them all around from how I had it before because I want you to see how it works over there. Basically it's just one that... I should start from over here. Oh, okay. It's one T flip-flop. When it changes, the block goes over there, so the torch can send a signal through the block onto this one, which powers the next one. Same thing happens, and they're all strung together to make, a counter. Now, if you know how to count in binary, of course, no one knows how to count in binary. If you're a gigantic nerd like me and know how to count in binary, then you'll know that this is 1, this is 2. If just that is active, it's 1, just that 2, just that 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 1, 2, 8? Yeah. So, this thing can count up to, I don't know, I can't be bothered. 1, 2, 8, add 64, add 32, add 16, add 8, 4, 2, and 1. So, basically what this will do is, it'll change the first one to active. And then when you click it again, the first one will toggle off, but the second one will toggle on. So, that's now 2. Now 2, add the first one, which is 1, that makes 3. 4. And then the 1 is 5. The 2 is 4, 5, 6. And then 7. And then 8. So, yeah, that's how you can use T flip-flops to count. You can just keep adding these more and more and more to make gigantic counters. With every new edition of the T flip-flop, it'll double the end number count, that thing. So yeah, that was a bit of a long one. That's the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.